What's going on, King of Kings family? It is day 18 of our Acts campaign, reading the book of Acts, one chapter a day, starting January 1st through February 1st, skipping Sundays. And today we are in Acts chapter 18, from verses 12 through 17. And we have Paul, who is preaching in this community in Corinth. And he gets brought before the governor, and all these things are said about him. And I think I want to file this one under what is the worst that can happen. So we see Paul here, and he's brought up on these charges, and they're so ludicrous and ridiculous because all he's doing is sharing the good news of Jesus. And this Jewish leader wants him to be arrested, stoned, killed. I don't know what the goal was here. And Gallo, who is the governor, says, look, if he actually was doing something wrong, maybe I'd do something to help you out. But really, you're wasting my time. Go deal with it yourself. And it's a huge embarrassment on the local synagogue. And so the people actually grab the leader who brought these charges up and beat him in the presence of the governor. I think when we think about sharing our faith, there is this anxiety, fear. We think about, how the person will respond. What we're afraid of something. And I want to know is what's the worst that's going to happen? Because we don't live in a world where we're going to get dragged before a religious authority for sharing our faith. We don't even live in a country where we have anything to fear about sharing our faith. You go to countries like Iran, China, places where Christians are persecuted, and yet they're sharing their faith left and right. There's fast-growing Christian communities in these places where it's supposedly illegal to be an authentic Christian. And yet here in America, we share our faith, nothing happens. Somebody might give us the side eye a little bit. Somebody might mock us. Somebody might judge us. But most of the time, when I talk to people about Jesus, and I'm not saying that I'm some great evangelist, because I'm not, but when I bring faith up in conversation, there are people who don't really want to talk about it. They change the subject, but most people lean in. They want to know more. They want to know why I'm so passionate about my faith. And it doesn't even require, a whole lot of theological training to share what I share. It doesn't really require any. Most of the time I'm sharing my own story. And even in this case with Paul, the worst that could have happened didn't happen, because God had called him. If you read up a little bit further, where God says in a vision to Paul, don't be afraid, continue speaking, I'm with you. And I have many people in this city here, that God had Paul's back. And if you go out and talk to people about your faith in ways that are natural, like we talked about yesterday, where we're listening and we're looking for that opening and building common ground, if you do that, there is really nothing at all to be afraid of, because of the freedoms that we have to do that. And so my prayer for us is that we would get over ourselves a little bit, that we would look for those opportunities, that we would listen to the voice of God who says to us, don't be silent, that I'm with you, and that we would share our faith boldly and really ask the question, what's the worst that's going to happen? The person makes fun of us, the person changes the subject, the person maybe doesn't want to talk to us anymore. And really, most of the time that doesn't even happen anyway. So my prayer would be for boldness for us, and clarity about what this good news is and how good it is, and how it can bless those that we share it with. The value of the good news is far greater than the consequences that we might face for sharing them. So that's all for today. I hope you have an awesome day, and we'll see you tomorrow. God bless.